Good morning. We're back a little late. I had a meeting run a little long this morning, trying to decide what to how to start back some things that really we haven't done since March, late March, early April. But anyway, you might be kind of facing the same thing today. Like, okay, church was a part of my life and Sunday school, and when you get right down to it, God was more part of my life, and now I just don't know what to do. Well, talking about not knowing what to do, let me tell you just a little story. When I was 16 years old, on a Friday afternoon in September, I had a ball game that afternoon, and just as most Friday afternoons were, I was antsy and nervous and ready to go and didn't know what to do, but I could drive then, and I said, I'm going to go down to the big lake and see how they're doing with the broken dam. Well, about a 50-acre lake that was 20-something feet deep. We had a big rain. That dam had been there for more than 50 years. It had broken, washed out an enormous deep hole where it took out some big pine trees behind it. And most part of the guys that worked on Turkey Hill Plantation, which my dad managed, were down there. There was an enormous number of fish that were left in that big kind of round deep hole after all the water came out of that dam or out of that lake. Well, to make a long story short, two guys were drowning in that hole. One white, one black. And there was nothing, they were drowning. And I was like rooted, I didn't know what to do. I wanted to help, but I was up here high and they were down and behind all this tangle, and there's all these other guys standing around, and all of them were giving advice, and they're both fighting for their life. You see, one of them couldn't swim, the other one could. One of them fell in and was so panicked that he went down and he went out of sight, and he was gone, and I knew he was dead. He was gone for a long time in that dark, muddy, deep water. And I'm like, why doesn't somebody help? And I'd already started running that way when Mr. Carroll Stanley bailed in to help. And when they came up, the other guy was on top of him, and he couldn't do anything. And all these guys are standing around the side, and Carroll was this strapping man. And they're saying, knock him out, Carroll, knock him out. Just, he's stuck on his head and grabbed on, and Sam Junior Major, who was the other guy, he was a powerfully built, kind of short, stocky, and he had a hold of Carroll, and down they went again. And they were gone. They were gone. And I knew that I had just watched two men drown. There was a boat, a little aluminum John boat, floating there. And when all hope was lost, one arm came up out of the water just in this wild swing. Just amazing. They'd been gone so long it seemed impossible. But up came this one arm. And when it swung over like that, it hit this boat on the side. Bang! And just grabbed on with a grip that was a life or death grip. And they were managed to be pulled out. Both of them full of water. Both of them should have been dead, but they both were alive, and they both lived. And I tell you that to tell you this. If you watch enough of the daily news and the daily lives, it might be your daily life, and all this stuff that's going on, you might feel like you're drowning. And there's no hope. And I would submit to you, you're probably right if you leave God out of the equation. Indeed, we are hopeless. It may not all end today, but life as we know it will end for us all one day. And for this universe will end one day. But in the midst of all this howling and hollering and all this, and health issues, all this stuff, get a grip on God. Jesus has got that nail-pierced hand extended to anybody and everybody that will take it. And I'll just tell you this, for all of those that have gotten out of the habit of church, some church will do you good. I was just reading what David had to say. Why so downcast, O my soul? Why so disturbed or disquieted within me? And the answer was clear. And he said it in Psalm 122. I was glad when they said to me, let us go into the house of the Lord. You're wondering what to do? Go back to church. We're taking enough precautions for everybody. And ask this question. The devil who wants to drown you in your problems, does he want you in church? And the answer to that is no. The hand's extended. Reach out. Take it. It'll hold you up.